We're live.
Oh, wow. Tonight is the night that we crack open our time capsules that have been locked up for the past 20 years.
20 years is a long time. That's before this, and even all of these things.
7,
6,
5,
4, 2, 1.
Do you remember what we put in these? Do you have any idea?
It's dead now, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers! Happy New Year!
No, I know that I suggested that you put in one of your toys that you played with at that time. Oh, I'm excited.
Are you excited?
No, because I know how pissed off I was when we were gonna do
Yeah, you
this
were
as
pretty
kids.
pissed off that night.
Yeah, it's 20 years, Mom. I'm like, it's never gonna happen.
So you put 2009 down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours 10
You were
years
skeptical
early.
back then.
Actually, it was the Y2K, and I remember asking Kim that question.
Is this one
What
mine?
do you think is going to happen in the Y2K? And Kimberly said, we're all going to die.
Happy New Year!
I'm so nervous. I don't even want to open it. I feel
Well,
like I'm
you don't
gonna break
have
something
to.
from the
Makes me
childhood.
feel really small. Oh.
Oh!
Yours has clothing in it?
It's got my girl guide thing
Ah,
in it.
there's so much in here.
No, holy shit. We
What?
packed these things.
Oh, thank you, past self.
You having a great time, Zach?
Yep.
What is that?
Yeah, that's my girl guide.
Oh, you. Oh, wow.
Give me a hug. I don't even want to open mine yet. Oh, he's cute. Mine's a bunch of paper. Like, mine's a bunch of, like, pieces of paper in here.
Oh my god, that's your letter from Santa.
Oh, you really packed some good stuff in yours.
Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of the little nostalgic elements that we found within the container because a lot of it was just very personal. But some of the honorable mentions were these.
This used to be the size of my hand. Questions about our predictions of the new year. Report cards. Bad drawing of mine. Old newspaper. Some personal memorabilia.
And 20-year-old candy cigarettes.
Oh, let me see.
Eating a 20-year-old Popeye cigarette. Just
I'll have a
actually
cigarette with you.
have a cigarette. Yeah, cheers.
Here's the thing. The number one thing really wasn't what was inside the containers. It was more or less the messages and memories that it reignited. Going back 20 years reminded me of where I was in my life and where my sister was in her life. And obviously we're not talking about profession because I was 5 years old. But what really resonated with me was the relationships we have within our family, and going through old videotapes of the Christmas season really reminded me of where our family was at, our connections, of how people were and bonded. And it's crazy to sort of look at those lives that still stay intertwined within yours and those that have exited or left, and how those relationships really bond. Because if anything, the test of time over generations, and obviously from being in a childhood now to migrating to adulthood within 20 years, the biggest thing that I've gained and most wisdom or knowledge is literally the development of relationships and how those have evolved over time. My sister and my relationship has stayed consistent, although it has definitely metamorphosed into something new and fresh and different. And we are in completely different areas of our life. And I just want to share with you guys that the value of doing a time capsule, like, holy crap, way to go, Crayola. If you're still a company, I'm pretty sure you're still a company, good for you. This is great marketing. Like, a 20-year marketing, like, we put this in our house, it sat in our house, and I just stared at it for 20 years straight, and now finally I got to open it. I would recommend you guys make a time capsule this year. It's 2020. Put one, dig a hole, put it in the ground, and see where that goes, because I was so blown away with what I found in that, and definitely, like, is a huge eye-opener for what 20 years can provide. And that's a lot of time, but I mean, think of what I was like 20 years ago. I couldn't even answer anything on camera. I also ate a 20-year-old Popeye.
A little tutorial for everyone. There is no such thing as an expiration date on Popeye.
Sugar doesn't go bad. It's probably still in my stomach, not even degrading down. But that's it. It was just such a beautiful moment as a family to go through, and I would highly recommend doing stuff like that with your family. It brings people back together. It creates an amazing bond between nostalgia and past memories and emotions, and it just ties things together in such a beautiful way. There's a great saying that I heard, which is we underestimate what we can do in a year and overestimate what we could do in a day. And this video definitely shared with me how much can happen in a time frame of 20 years. Now, I'm not saying that, we should definitely calculate stuff in 20-year spans, but just look how different I was 20 years ago. And I know that's a good chunk of time in the span of a human, but the amount of development, the amount of things that have happened, not only within history and through that sort of time frame, but also for myself, my interests, the things that were consistently changing, and also on the same parallel level, things that stayed the same. My family stayed the same. It grew, it shrank. The same people stayed the same, consistent within my family. My sister, I never got a new sister. I never got a different sister. I had the same sister the entire time. I had the same parents. And there are consistencies through that 20-year time span. But one of the major differences is personality, it's interests, it's traits, it's things that excite you, it's sports, it's hobbies. It's those granular things that change. But the mega, like the big chunks, the big rocks, stay the same. They just get a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and sometimes a little bit dumber. This is a great spot to pause and thank our sponsor of the video, which is Premium Beat. Premium Beat is a royalty-free stock music website for all of your creative needs. It is also the host of all of the music that was in this video. So if you like the tracks that are currently playing or played beforehand, you can find all of those songs along with other professional and incredibly high-quality soundtracks on their website. If you hit a link in the description below, it'll guide you to their website. And trust me, I've been using Premium Beat for the last 4 years of my filmmaking career, and it has elevated my production quality so much. Let's get back into the video then. And I think what I really got out of doing this video was just to not overestimate what you can do in a short period of time and really value the long term. What could happen within a year, 2 years, 3 years, and to also value cataloging how this stuff works for you and what things interest you. I obviously, when I was 5 years old, I didn't have the knowledge and wisdom for me to look back and reference and go, oh my God, Zach, wow, you are so smart. But I'd like to think that, me doing journals and me doing videos now can help me in the future understand what some of my core values are, because I think core values usually stay the same, and we grow and get new influences and things that change our brains and new friends and new circles and new jobs that tend to tell us what we think we want. And sometimes it's good to go back to our roots and look at, well, what are the things that really matter? And for me, the things that have mattered for the last 20 years and probably will matter for the next 60 are family. And that is going to be a consistency for my entire life. And it's those people within those videos that have never changed. Now, my proximity towards them has changed, but they've always stayed within orbit of my life. And that's something fun about doing videos, and what I would recommend for you, if maybe putting a 20-year time capsule is a lot, start journaling. Journaling is one of the most valuable things that I think anyone can do, and it is next to nothing to do. It takes 10 minutes of your day, and if you're really excited, you take 20 minutes to do it. Personally, I've been writing 2-page journals every day since the beginning of January, and it has been such a game changer on how I approach life, because not only am I like venting and getting stuff out of my system, whether it was good, bad, or beautiful, but also I'm cataloging my day so that hopefully within 20 years, as long as, they don't burn down, someone uses them for firewood or for some reason steals them, I'll be able to look back at them and go, oh, that's Zach. Wow, you were a good kid. This is what he liked to do, and this is what he didn't like to do, and now I don't know why I would talk like that in 20 years, but I would be able to use them as reference because again, when you journal or when you document or when you capture stuff of your life, it's so important for the future version of yourself. Screw trying to entertain people when it comes to journals or blogging or vlogging or whatever. Do it for yourself. Do it for you. And hopefully you can get some value out of that. I look back still like a year ago at some of the videos I was making, and then 2 years ago, and then God forbid, I look back at videos I made 5 years ago. I've been doing this for a while, and it's so fun to see what were the things that interest me, what were the stylistic things, what was a consistency, and I think there's a lot out of that. So start documenting in any way, shape, or form, pen, paper, carvings on walls, or videos on YouTube, as well as attempt doing a time capsule. If you start now, within 5 years, it's going to be dope. In 10 years, it's going to be incredible. And in 20 years, you're going to be bawling your eyes out and being like, oh my God, I put some markers and crayons in here. Wow. My mom bawled her eyes out pretty much throughout the whole thing. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and maybe like the whole vintage video stuff that was implemented in it, I recommend taking a look at a series of 3 movies. I guess it's the 4th one in the series, kind of talking about nostalgia, nostalgic video effects, and why it's so important within your content. So I do a video on the purpose of doing like old video files and video effects and why they're really good, as well as how to implement that within your video through a digital/practical effect. So anyway, hopefully you gain some knowledge and stuff out of this. If you want to continue following my journey of creating movies for maybe the next 20 years, who knows, you can follow me on Instagram if that's still a thing in the future. You can also like, rate, comment, subscribe, and that's about it. Keep making some great stuff, guys, and I hope to see you and see the amazing stuff that you do in the new year. Very pumped, super pumped. My hands are out here of so much excitement.